Hello, class. My name is Scott Johnson, and my discussion board presentation today focuses on Quaker Executions as Myth and History by Carla Pastani. This article focuses on the execution of four Quakers in the Massachusetts Bay Colony between 1659 and 1661, and the historiography following this event. In 1659, Marmaduke Stevenson and William Robinson, Quakers, were executed in the Massachusetts Bay Colony, while a third Quaker martyr, Mary Dry, was released only to be returned and executed in 1660. The last Quaker that was executed during this time was William Ledra in 1661. After this event, recountings of the execution began to emerge that showed the Quakers portrayed as martyrs and prophets, and the Puritans as being intolerant. Both sides seek to control the narrative of their history. As the author points out, the Quakers are able to portray their history in a more positive light than the Puritans are able to through the historiography. The historiography of this event begins with the Quakers taking the stance of being martyrs and prophets. Notable historians of this period are Edward Burr and George Bishop that contribute significantly to the early historiography of the Quakers in regards to these executions. After this early period, the Quakers placed less of an emphasis on prophecy and stressed the theme of martyrdom. This period began in the late 1670s and eventually began to focus on the qualities of pacifism and quietism, although it took some Quakers time to conform to these ideas. This is the second stage or the second area in the historiography of the Quakers. This article also discusses the Puritans' historiography of these executions and its struggles in telling this part of its story. Puritan Cotton Mather. Mather's work offers more discussions about these executions from the Puritan point of view. In his work, Magnalia Christi America, published in 1702, offers more of the Puritans' views of these events and reasons behind why they believed these events were warranted at that point in time versus the Quaker opinion in their historiography of them being martyrs and prophets. After discussing the historiography from the Puritan and the Quaker point of view, the article overall goes on to describe the effectiveness of the Quaker narrative and the difficulty that Puritans had in retelling this story as a part of their history related to these executions between 1659 and 1661. Overall, the author points out that the Quakers had successfully put forth their narrative of the New England history, which undermines the Puritans' account of these events. The article also goes on and discusses in the beginning portion of how many of our ideas and concepts about Puritanism in early America are not necessarily what we may think they are. The author points out that generations later, after these executions, one of the Puritan descendants, John Adams, even views these executions as a negative part of Massachusetts history. Therefore, the article does a good job of summing up the Puritan narrative and the Quaker narrative and shows the reader how the Quakers were able to control the narrative through their historiography and basically undermine Puritan history of New England. Thank you.